Okay, episode, who knows? We are rolling solo again because our good friend and producer Rick and Gigi took a much needed break, and then actually this episode is airing because we took a vacation.
Right.
And by we, I mean Renae made me take a vacation. I'm really nervous about it.
You want to open up that box again?
No, well, real quick, Aztec Chevrolet. Thank you so much.
Before we start fighting, first things
to
first.
Aztec Chevrolet for always being there for us. And we're so excited to be soon to film a TV commercial.
When we can get ours and Rick's schedule to
very
get
soon.
together, we're going to film that.
So we're very excited. And Aztec Chevrolet
Is it going to be a funny commercial or a serious
It's funny.
commercial?
And the guys at Aztec came up with it. And I was like, oh, crap, right? But it's good. It's really good.
I haven't read the script yet.
Well, of course you haven't. What do you do? So thank you, Aztec Chevrolet. Again, for all your Chevrolet needs, please hit up our friends at Aztec Chevrolet. And, of course, oldsaltcoffee.com.
Yes.
Because I know a lot of you are like, Steve, we'd love to support Aztec Chevrolet, but they're only in South Texas. We're listening from Canada. We're listening from overseas. We're listening from Europe. We're listening from, So, but Old Salt Coffee, you can definitely support. Oldsaltcoffee.com. Trevino 10 is the code.
To get a 10% discount. Put your code in.
And then, I was what?
And thank you to people who were donating. I couldn't say that word. No, I can't talk all of a sudden. I'm
the
Leukemia and Lymphoma Society.
Yes. Is it working? Are people donating?
People are donating, and you guys, just any little thing helps. There's a link in our bios on both of our Instagrams. And we are going to be fundraising money. We've got a couple of weeks left to fundraise, so we appreciate everyone.
The people are donating?
Yeah.
Oh, good. I'm always worried about that. I mean, I'm always like, do people care? You know what I mean?
Oh,
do people
I think
give
it's such a great thing. And you know what? There's if you get on their website, they are. I don't think people realize, like, if you are dealing with cancer or someone in your family member, there are so many resources that are out there, and they are a super helpful and wonderful society. Just call the 1-800 number that's on the website, and they will answer any of your questions. They'll give you lots of information.
Why are you talking so fast?
Because it's important, and I want to get all the details out. Like, if there's someone,
dude, you're loud right now and fast.
Okay, sorry, I'll slow down.
Don't be sorry.
Maybe I had a little too much coffee this morning.
I think it's funny, dude.
No, but it's a great resource for people who are dealing with a family member who has cancer, and they kind of don't know where to turn, and they don't know what resources are available to them. The LLS is a great place to start.
Absolutely, and the podcast sometimes. To be completely honest with you, sometimes it feels like work, right? Sometimes I'm like, but once I'm doing it, I've said it before, once I'm doing it, I'm happy to be here.
Right.
But the cool and exciting thing is comments. I love comments and people, saying, oh, we had a great time with you guys, or we love it. No, I love that. But sometimes I mention something, right, on the podcast, and you just never know who's listening.
Okay.
So a couple episodes ago, we were talking about Easter and barbecuing, and you were like, "How many grills does one guy need?" Remember? And I was like, "Well, you can never have too many grills." And then I get hit up on Instagram by Cobb Grill, right? And they're like, "Do you have a grill to take on the road?" And I go, "Well, I do not." And then they go,
"That's what that big box was that arrived."
They go, "Send your address to us and we'll send you one." And I'm like, "Okay, I would love to have one." So look. Look what they gave me.
Well, at least this one isn't going to take up space in the backyard. At least this one's nice and compact. Wow. Look at the food they're cooking on that.
Dude, that's pretty cool.
Are you going to make me that, Steve Trevino?
Yes, I'm happy to. But I just thought it was really cool that I mentioned it, and then the Cobb Grill reached out, and sometimes they were really sweet about it.
Yeah,
and they were like, "Look, you don't have to mention us. We just want to give it to you. And I mean, it's a gift, and it's a very nice gift, and I just wanted to mention it.
But you've cooked on one of those before, right?
Yeah.
Or did you cook on it?
No. Oh. I was on the cover of My Las Vegas in Vegas, the magazine. and they did an article on me, and they paired me up with a chef.
And you guys cooked on
and we cooked on that Cobb grill. So that's the only thing that I had known about Cobb grill. And I was like, oh man, this thing's really cool because it's only like that big. It gets super hot. Like it was really like a little. It's like a miniature egg, if you will.
Okay.
Right, that you can travel with. So I want to thank Cobb because what a cool gift to send. And again, you never know who's watching, who's listening.
Yeah, that's so random.
So it was cool that they were able.
But I was complaining about grills, and they were like, here's another one.
Yes, and man, you know what? I could really use some fishing poles, and I do not have enough fishing poles for my fishing extravaganzas. I need more fishing poles. So if anybody is listening that would like to give me a fishing pole and reel, I don't know why I don't want to just get a pole. I need the reel too. But it was cool that I think that's cool.
Yeah, that is.
So it's awesome.
It's neat.
So we did an episode yesterday, and we talked about.
There was a lot about me yesterday's episode.
No, well, about women in general, and sometimes like I leave an episode and I'm like, man, did I say what I really wanted to say? Did I? You know what I mean?
That's me every week. Yes, I know what you mean.
But I think ultimately, I think I did say what I wanted. To say and get across. And I think sometimes people will take things the way that they want to take them,
Right.
But I'm...
Well, and this is like a dialogue back and forth. And so you cut me off and I cut you off. And so I think sometimes we don't get to finish
But nobody
our thoughts.
ever gets mad at you for cutting me off. I'm the one that...
Because maybe they notice all the times I just sit quietly and let you speak, even when I'm bored and I feel like I've heard it already.
I just think it's hilarious that today you start getting ready for the podcast and you come out dressed like that. And I'm like, ooh, somebody is over showing off.
No, you're like, we're giving up already? No, I took
Because every episode, Renee's like, oh.
Well, no, I took Delilah for her shots. And then, we've been talking about my weight and exercise and like.
Okay, first of all, nobody's talking about your weight. Nobody is talking. I think you're beautiful. I've told you that before. Nobody specifically. And it should never be about weight.
Well, no.
It should always be about health. And fitness.
Yes, it should always be about.
It's not about weight,
but also feeling as a woman, right? We talked on the last episode about confidence, and that's a big part of it. And I've watched the last couple of episodes, and my clothes look a little too tight, and I'm like, how am I sitting in my chair?
No, baby, no. But again, it scares me that I hope you're not feeling insecure. You shouldn't. I mean,
no, not insecure. I just know how I looked pre-baby, and I know where I'm at now. And Delilah's 4 months, so I think I'm doing good for having a 4-month-old baby.
You're doing great.
But I also feel like things are getting easier with Delilah. Like last weekend, a girlfriend came over with her little girl so that Garrett and her could play together. And she goes, Renae, it's good to see you getting back to yourself again. And she was not talking about my weight or my appearance at all, but I just like all of a sudden, it like really hit me then that like, oh yeah, holy hell, the last 3.5 months have been...
3.5 months? 3.5 months?
No, I mean, I feel like with Delilah,
Add the 9 of you being pregnant, it's been 12 months.
Well, my point is like going to the exercise and all of that, like it was easier to exercise when Delilah was in my belly than it has been the last 3.5 months.
No, things are definitely starting to settle down. I mean, there was a time... where when Delilah had colic, where even the house, we couldn't get it into order.
Yeah.
I mean, it was hard. And the only thing that stayed in order was my department. The garage and outside looked amazing.
Because you were nowhere near that baby because she would cry and it was like PTSD for you.
But it definitely has chilled out. And again, I went to Garrett's mixed martial arts class. But even us dropping the ball when it comes to Garrett, where I have taken baseball very seriously with him, and I have not dropped the ball in a literal sense with Garrett when it comes to Little League.
Yeah.
But we started to miss
ninja class,
and it really bummed me out because Garrett is in the advanced ninja class. And he goes, Dad, I haven't gotten a new belt in a long time.
Because we hadn't been going.
And we hadn't been going.
We couldn't get him there between the two of us.
We just couldn't make it happen. So, now I've made the commitment to, okay, I got to make sure that Garrett makes it to class.
Yeah.
We're going to get him a private lesson today so that he can get caught up, so that he can start really catching up to the other kids, because it does suck to be that kid.
Yeah.
Right? To be that kid that...
But you know what? You also talk about giving him fire. And as you're saying that, I'm thinking, okay, here we go. You're going to pay extra money so your kid can get a private lesson and get caught up, when that might be what fuels him and gives him drive, right? We talk about how do you give your kid drive?
Well, no, they're not going to give him... I agree with that. And that's a concern. And they're not going to give him the belt tomorrow or today.
Right.
It's to prepare him...
Catch him up to speed.
Catch him up to speed so that he does... is prepared when it is time to upgrade belts and test, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, definitely. And yes, we do have the ability to pay for that extra help. But I kind of look at it as, if my kid is falling behind in math, if I have the ability to get him a tutor,
sure,
then I'm going to do that.
Sure.
And luckily for me, growing up, when I would fall behind, specifically in math, I would go to Mary Jane's house.
Yeah.
And Mary Jane would do my parents the favor to work with me.
Wow.
You didn't know that?
No, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
She was a principal, right? She was a family member who became a principal at one point. Wasn't she a principal at one point?
She was a teacher, and then she became an administrator and a teacher. Anyway,
yeah.
But, my parents, without money, were finding ways, because she was my aunt, and a teacher, that they asked her to do us the favor to tutor me. So I understand what you're saying, but I thought about it, believe me.
Yeah.
And I constitute it to, he's falling behind, right? And these are the things that we are focusing on with Garrett right now, is baseball.
Yeah.
And we always said team sport, individual sport, and an instrument. So now we need to start getting them piano lessons or something. But definitely feeling like things are finally getting back to normal.
Yeah.
At the house, our relationship is starting to get back to...
Well, sort of, but now the extra time that I have by Delilah not being so fussy, I'm trying to maximize my time on the exercise bike or in the gym. So.
You did 2 days, 2 a day yesterday.
I did.
You did the morning workout and then...
Well, I rode the bike with you in the morning and I didn't quite feel like it was enough.
Well, I rode the bike and lifted weights. So, and you just rode the bike.
But then I have to shower and get dressed and put on my face and all that.
Oh my God, dude, you getting ready takes...
It did not
forever.
Today. This is sweaty.
God,
this is sweaty gym hair. I just washed my bangs because they were greasy.
I just I don't know if I could do it.
I don't think you have any clue how long it takes a woman to actually get dressed.
Whoa, what's going on over there? Hold on. I think
is Rick chiming in?
Did Rick cannot stay on vacation. Rick cannot stay on vacation. For those of you that can't see, our monitor and our board is over there.
And we have a computer in the studio that Rick is able to control from his house.
He said, "Sorry, just checking." He doesn't care about us. He doesn't love us.
Back to vacay.
Back to what were we talking about?
What were we talking about? I don't know.
Oh, you taking forever to get ready.
You have no idea how long it really takes a woman to get dressed.
No, there's...
remember when you did the post about how long it takes me to get my hair colored?
No, look.
And people lit you up because they were like, you have no clue.
There's 3 different levels of getting ready for women. And you are in the extreme of that.
No.
I think there's women that are no problem at all, right? They're I don't wear makeup, I put on sneakers, jeans, and a t-shirt, and I go, right? There's that woman.
But you're not married to that kind of woman.
I know.
I don't think you would have married that kind of woman.
And then there's the, hey, quick makeup, right? Shower,
That's
makeup,
what this is
put
today.
the hair up and let's go. And then there's you, and then the difference is that, and then you have the women that are like, sometimes I take forever. right?
That's
Sometimes.
me. Sometimes.
Bullshit.
Sometimes.
Dude, every day it's full makeup, full hair, 2 different outfits, 3. How many outfits did you wear yesterday?
Gym clothes.
Gym
Gym
clothes?
clothes twice because I exercise in the morning
so
and the evening.
gym clothes, and then you changed for what?
And then I
Changed for the podcast.
Changed for the podcast.
And then you changed again for the day.
No, I didn't.
And then you wore gym clothes again. You literally had 4 costume changes yesterday. 4.
Well, 2 of them were stinky and sweaty. You want me to stay in my stinky, sweaty clothes all day
I'm wearing
long?
the same shit I wore yesterday. Dude, my showers take 6 minutes.
No, listen.
6 minutes.
There is...
The only thing I do long is take a shit. That's the only thing.
That's true.
And that's not even long. That's like 15 minutes. It's like 15
No,
minutes.
it's longer than that some
Max
mornings.
20. And I don't even know how I used to take a shit without TikTok.
No, but there is no makeup, just gym clothes, take Garrett to school drop off. And then
Who takes Garrett to school?
sometimes when you're traveling and
Okay,
I
let's
have
be
to take
specific.
him.
Let's be
Because
specific.
normally you take him, but when you're traveling and I have to take him. And then there's like today, I exercised really quick this morning before I had to get Delilah to the doctor for her shots. And I didn't go in makeup. I just threw on these clothes and went out the door. But then I came back and I was like, I'm going to be on camera. I'd like to put a little makeup and fix my hair. So this is like quick hair, didn't have time to wash it or blow dry it.
I love that you always look beautiful. I love that you always dress up.
You tell me I can do my hair however I want, but I know you like my long hair, and that takes time.
And that is a price I'm willing to pay. However,
you're just gonna bitch about it.
No, I need you to be aware.
Oh, I am.
No, you're not. No, you're not. You have no clue. You have no clue.
That's not true.
It is amazing the things that I am able to get done while you're getting ready.
I'm fully aware of that, but you have no idea how long it realistically takes to blow dry and curl hair.
You got home from getting Delilah her shots.
Uh-huh.
When you got home, what was I doing? I was spraying the flower beds with the poison to kill the weeds, right? So I finished that, all the front, right? Which is not easy. It takes a while, right? I sprayed all the landscaping, all the rocks, everything. Then I came in, I made myself a lunch, PB&J to be exact. I made myself a lunch. I cleaned and set up the studio because you had a disaster in here. And I came and cleaned up the studio. And what else did I do? Oh, I
had a disaster because I was working in here yesterday on the desk.
And then you're like, have you spoken to Rick? Have you spoken to Rick about the thing?
Well, no, because Rick has to put this up on the screen for us. So I just wanted to make sure we had the right screen.
But I do appreciate that you always look beautiful. However, I don't.
It doesn't take a lot of work to maintain that. It takes work to maintain this.
I don't disagree. However, I would never. I love that you dress up. I love that you're very girly, right? I love that, and that's something that is attractive to me. But I don't look at other women that don't and think, ugh, right?
No, but you're also not married to those women.
Thank God.
I don't think you would have. I don't think you would have married that kind of woman.
I don't know. I don't know.
You even said last episode, you were like, the reason I was attracted to you was because of the way you looked at first.
Well, no, I mean, you definitely have, it's hard to, yes, I
wow,
like.
you just like,
no, I'm trying to think about.
It's very rare that you can't get a thought out like that.
Well,
that
no,
you stumble on your words.
do like that you're, and I don't want to say classy, because it doesn't mean the girls that don't dress up aren't classy.
Sometimes I'm trashy.
Well, no, but you always dress up, and I like that about you. But I think we're spending too much time.
Yes.
Not getting into a topic.
Okay.
I've been waiting to get into.
Oh, what do you want to talk about?
I don't know. I'm going to leave it in your court because somebody on the messages was like, "Ooh, why not?" Yes, I like that you get Renae answering spontaneously, but why doesn't Renae pop something on Steve to get Steve to answer?
Well, no, you just popped it on me. You didn't tell me that I could pick any topic I wanted to talk about this week.
How is that any different than any week that we do this. Which by the way,
no, I'm game. Let's go.
Which by the way, I'll give you a little time to think. I saw your little video on Instagram. Dude,
Which one?
Your little freaking followers.
Huh?
Dude, you have they love you, dude.
My little followers. Why are they my little followers?
Captain Evilers. The little, I don't know what they're called. The little Captain Evilers, dude.
What are you talking about? I haven't had to. I posted yesterday, but I didn't have time to read the comments. I'm sorry. There's a lot of posting and no time for catching up on comments. I catch up on comments at like 2 a.m. when I'm up with Delilah.
So you posted a video about the carpet and what you did in here.
Oh, yeah.
Right? And everybody went nuts. Everybody was like, oh my God, Renae, you're so great. And oh my God, what a good idea. And,
well, no, you know what was funny is I got this leopard print rug because you say like leopard print is the official uniform of Captain Evil.
I saw the video.
Today I was going to wear a leopard print sweater and I was like, whoa, that might be overkill.
See, now it just did this.
Print sweater with the leopard
this has
print
just
rug.
killed your outfit choices, dude. You have literally taken outfit choices away from yourself.
I have.
But I did notice too, and I don't know. Do you need to take that?
I don't know who it is.
It might be the doctor.
It's an 830 number.
That's what I mean.
Something else with kindergarten registration. Holy hell.
Dude, it's been a pain in the butt. So back to our regularly scheduled program.
Yeah, what were we talking about?
We were talking about the carpet and your little Captain Evil followers. And you know, it's really, dude, it's really funny because some of those girls are really funny in their comments. Like one of the comments was, "Who killed that cheetah?" And I thought it was so funny, but.
Who mauled that leopard?
Well, and I also thought it was really funny because they're like, so what chairs did you pick out? None.
No, I did.
Yet to pick out chairs.
So, no, there are these. When we were in Florida, when you were performing in Miami, I saw these really cool upholstered chairs that were brown leather on the back and then navy velvet right here. And then the seat was denim and it had denim piping. And I thought they were so cool with the colors in the room. And they were like the perfect combination of feminine and masculine. I can tell I'm boring you, but I loved them. But it's like a custom chair. But you're right. My little Captain Evilers or whatever you want to call them were like, do the chairs, do the custom chairs. So I do have some picked that I could just like order and have them here, but I hadn't really talked to you about it. I would love to do the custom chairs.
So why not get them?
To go around the custom table, because I have to find the old chairs first, like on Facebook Marketplace or something, and then have them reupholstered.
Okay, well, great. So we'll see those
but
chairs.
I did some other stuff. We have curtains, we have rugs.
We'll see those chairs in 6 months. I just want people to see that little baby steps, Renae. Baby steps. We got rugs.
Poor Zach. Zach tore his Achilles and had to have surgery, so we're waiting on the wall too. But I did. The shop behind you was looking pretty bland back there, and so until we can find a door, I did an easy DIY and put some shelves.
I saw the video.
Okay.
So
hopefully it looks good. We'll have to see. I think
episode. So. I think you're doing a great job, and that's the thing about you. You always do a great job. You're just not effective. It takes forever. And all I'm saying is do a good job, but do it faster. Because you do a good job, and you really do have an eye for design. I mean, Delilah's room came out beautiful. It just took forever.
I know, because I like to find little knickknacks, and I like it to feel collected. I know, I take a long time.
Anyway, so now it's your turn.
My turn. No, you know what? What I get that people are curious about is the dynamics of us working together and being husband and wife. And I have
we should talk about that.
I have a couple of people who are on my Instagram and they'll send me messages and they work with their husband too. And one of them, she was so cute. She was like, "Today's National Secretary Day, Renae. Make sure you buy yourself a nice gift."
That is funny. Is that today?
No, it's not. But when
it was.
She told me. Yeah.
No, getting you to get on board with us working together was very hard. That was a struggle for us because,
it's been a process.
Well, Renae's a very strong person. Renae's a very opinionated person, as we're learning, as you're learning. And Renae also has always been the boss. And part of the issue is that Renae in her life has been very successful when it came to academics and school projects and getting into college, and and even in college getting the put another banner up, put another reward up there. So number one, convincing Renae that, hey, we're a team and we should do this together.
It came out of necessity, and having Garrett was what happened.
Well, yeah, but I had been asking you to get on board.
You had, but that's what I'm saying. Very, very long time. You had for a long time, and it really wasn't until Garrett came in the picture that, I mean, I was helping you here and there while I was still working my other jobs.
I also feel like there was a feeling for you of, I'm going to give up my career for yours.
For sure.
For
sure.
Because you are an actor, and a lot of people see her in her commercial.
They're playing the crap out of that.
They're playing the crap out of that one. There's other commercials that Renae's in, but they're playing the crap out of that one. And Renae did give it a go when she moved to LA, and unfortunately, every casting director wanted her to speak Spanish. Every casting director wanted her to have an accent. And it was just frustrating for her, but there had to have been a sense of feeling of like, so for a long time, I could not convince you to jump on board with my career.
Right. So I was working at an acting school, and I liked my job. I was really happy because I was helping run the office. But I was still in class as an actor, and I felt like I was still very much in that community. So I really loved my job, and we had Garrett. And you were kind of staying home with Garrett when you weren't on the road, but it just got to a breaking point where your clips went viral. The relatable clips went viral on Facebook, and you started traveling like crazy.
So Renae is like everybody else in my life. Once the train was moving,
oh, hush your mouth.
She jumped on board.
We were married for how many years before that?
Yeah, but you weren't like, ooh, I want to help you with your career. You were like, I got my own shit going on.
No, it came out of necessity. And then when I started
blowing up, you were like, oh, hey, what's going on over
we
here? I want to be a part of that.
Your memory is so warped. His memory is so warped.
So
we needed childcare. And so it became, are we going to put our child in daycare? And I went and looked at the options in our neighborhood, and I was like, I can't do that. I could not do that. And I mean, Garrett's in daycare now. Not that there's anything wrong with daycare, but just the options that were available to us then were not great.
Because we were living in LA, and it was horrible.
Yeah.
Let's be honest.
Yeah.
LA was horrible. Yeah. And not only was it horrible, it was sad. It was depressing. They were dirty.
It was bad.
And in order to get in a decent one, you had to donate blood and give an arm and a leg and
be on a wait list.
How long?
I mean, forever. We were clueless. We were clueless when it came to that.
LA is definitely the rich and the poor. There is no middle class in Los Angeles.
So then it became, how are we going to do this with this child? And what made the most sense was for us to go on the road as a family, and me to just really start helping you.
I disagree.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
Completely.
You tell me your version.
It was before that, and I had really was going, hey, I need your help. Help me. And I just couldn't convince you to get on board to help me. You were doing your own thing.
Yeah.
And then we were lucky enough to film for Showtime. We filmed Grandpa Joe's son.
Right. But that was your first special, and we were not really involved on the production side of that.
We were engaged. We weren't married. I was able to film that special. It was a good special. We really felt like, okay, well, here's a break, right? We got a break.
Yeah.
Finally, after struggling and working hard, we got a break. Well, nothing came. And I finally went to Renae and truly a sales pitch. And I said, look, I need you to help me do my own special. And everybody thought I was crazy.
Yeah.
And I go, I will figure it out. And if Hollywood's not going to hire you, this is how I convinced you.
Yeah.
I said, if Hollywood is not going to hire you, if Hollywood is not going to give you a job because you went to NYU for acting, directing, film school, right?
Yeah.
And I go, if they're not going to give you a job, I will. Me and you will do this together, and you will come on as a producer and help me produce this special on our own. And that's when you go, fuck it, let's do it.
Yeah.
You know, and we had at that point.
Oh, that's right. I remember. And the family I was working for at the time was
That's
kind
right.
enough.
Put it up there, Rick. That's right. She said that is right. Mark it
No,
up
but
there.
they were kind enough to give me some time off to go and produce a special, and then I still had my job when I came back.
So that was kind of the beginning of, okay, let's do this together.
Yeah.
Help me pull this off.
And that was scary as hell too, because it here we're trying to produce it, and you just kept going forward like a bull, and production companies would fall out, and like the venue wouldn't quite work like we thought it was going to, and you were just like, you were selling tickets for this special, and we were like, yep, there's gonna be a special. There's gonna be a special.
No, we're gonna figure it out.
I mean, yeah.
You know, we didn't have a choice. Hollywood wasn't giving us a break, and Hollywood wasn't helping us, and production companies weren't helping us. And I go, we are going to do this. And even then, the production company that came on board goes, we'll come on board, but you have to pay.
Yeah.
And it was a substantial amount of money that left me and you with literally $400 in our bank account.
But that's what I mean, is that like us working together really came out of necessity.
Yeah, yes.
At that point, it was like ride or die.
But up to you, that was a necessity to you. I always thought since the day we met that had we worked together from the very beginning and had a common goal, that we would have both been much more successful faster. Because I have become much more successful with you by my side.
Yeah, but it's also been
you
hard.
helping. It has been hard. So you know, we talked about that and how we got you on board.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Then again, LA, your boss tells you, oh, you can bring your baby to work. We're LA and we're baby friendly and we're female friendly.
Right.
And you show up with this baby.
Well, I think once the baby was here, it was a shared office space. The reality of having a baby.
Don't make excuses for her, for that woman. That woman made you a promise and then took it away and then replaced you. Straight up.
No.
And that happened in LA.
No, she didn't. They didn't hire someone else. They basically said, you can bring your kid until you find a childcare situation. And like I said, once we started looking at childcare situations and saw the wait lists and saw the places that were available, it just didn't make sense for us anymore.
And then we came back to work and there was a new guy there.
Well, of course. Yeah, they have to hire someone.
But she basically pushed you out after saying,
oh, I don't remember it that
yes, that's exactly what happened. You know, so out of necessity, yes. But I had been begging you to work with me from the beginning.
Yeah, you have.
You know, even when we were engaged, even when we had first moved into, you know, and.
But you're a strong personality too, and that's scary too. You know, to work with someone, work for someone who is such a strong personality.
But I don't want you to say for, because you know I never say that. I have several. We have several.
There were several times.
We have several employees.
We talk over each other right now.
No, let me say my point. We have several employees, and I don't tell any of them that I am their boss.
No, but
I say that we are a team.
Yes.
We all work together.
Yeah.
And that we all have a common goal.
Absolutely. But between you and I privately, there were definitely times that you said, I am the boss. I am the boss. And I probably made you feel like you had to assert that because I am very opinionated.
And that was the big learning curve for us was, and I do think it helps that I'm older than you and that I've been through a lot in my life.
Yes.
You know, and I would explain to Renae that ultimately there are some things that she is the boss of and I let her lead. And, you know, whatever that department is. So, for example, if she's directing or producing my special, I do not get in her way. And I don't get in your way. But I ask you.
That took a couple of projects too for us to get to that point.
And I ask you, what can I do to support what you're doing?
Yeah.
Right? And Renae didn't have that distinction. Right? In the beginning, everything... I saw that coming a mile away, and I said it when we walked in here, but here we are.
Oh, 2 wedding pictures down as we're talking about
Awesome.
working together. Do we think it's a cosmic sign?
Dude, I saw it coming, dude. And even when we walked in here, I go, Renae, bad idea. We're going to have to close and open the door really slowly. And she was like, it'll be fine. Smash.
Well, when we're in here, no one's touching the door. That's crazy. That was like some weird cosmic sign.
God knows. God knows. God's like, Renae, listen to Steve. Listen to Steve. No, there's definitely a moment where, in my opinion, Renae didn't understand that, hey, I'm the leader of this project. Yeah. And if I am the leader of this project, let me lead it. And let me go in the direction that I want to, because it's my department. Yeah. You know, and...
But yes, you're correct. That was a problem I had. And part of that was that I care about you. I feel like oftentimes, I'm your wife, right? I care about you and the situation and how it's going to affect you and what it's going to do for you. I'm so much more invested than a random paid employee. Obviously, right? And so,
but you're not.
And so sometimes I felt like because of that, I need to be really vocal on this particular thing. And you'd be like, nope, you need to back up.
Yes, and you wouldn't. But on that note, I'm glad you said that. When you sit there and you go, and I always say this to couples, man, there is no prenuptial agreement between me and Renae. There is no, the business of my stand-up comedy is... We both own it. We're both owners of the company. We share everything. Yeah. We are definitely partners in everything. Renae does not have the Renae account, and with the money that Renae makes, Renae's allowed to spend that, and the money I make, I'm allowed to spend that. No, it goes into one big pot, and we share in everything.
Because we had nothing when we started.
Yes, but I also think that...
There was nothing to have a prenuptial agreement about.
Well, but I think that that's important as a couple to go, hey, we are in this together, right? Yeah. Whether it's my stand-up that drives this company, sure. It doesn't matter. That doesn't mean that I deserve more than you, right? We are equal partners, because to me, everybody's job is important. Everybody. Yeah. Right? And when I go to a comedy club or a theater, I shake everybody's hand. Right. Because I want them to know that, hey, you matter. And this show does not happen without you. Without the guy that goes through and cleans the place. Right. Without the CFO that runs the place. With everybody is needed. And I like to run our little family the same way, where I go, hey guys, everybody here is important, you know. But for me and you working together, there was the strong personalities, both of us, butting heads, and you know. And for me, the only thing that I have always said, when it comes to my stand up, leave me alone.
And I respect that.
I've always said,
I would never try and do stand up.
Don't tell me how to tell a joke. Yeah. Right. Yeah. And I've always felt like I respect people's departments and what they're good at, and I don't get involved. You do not, and you get involved with everything. So that's our biggest fight, if I'm being honest, right? Yeah. You know, Renae likes to control and run every aspect of everything, you know, and it's like, well, hang on, I'm leading the ship in this project.
Yeah. But we learned that as we worked on different specials and went along together. But
it's even like this office.
It's been a learning process.
I didn't pick out, we had this conversation, I didn't pick out anything. Everything in here is a Renae.
What's so funny is that it has your name all over it, you know?
Because there's no show without me.
I know, baby. I know.
I'm kidding. Before they go, oh my God, I can't believe this. No, but it is a team effort, and I think
and what's interesting is I think we don't share this information like publicly. We just do it and go about it, and I think people who work with us kind of have an idea, but also like we're working together in our home, even when we're not working in front of people, and so. I think it also creates an interesting dynamic with how we work with other people because we're husband and wife.
Oh no, absolutely, and it makes it more difficult, right? Like nobody wants to yell at Steve's wife, right? If Steve's wife makes a mistake or they don't like how Steve's wife is handling something, nobody says anything.
And it's frustrating for me because I feel like as a strong, independent woman, I can have those conversations. I'm capable of having those conversations, but I also respect and understand how that makes other people uncomfortable.
Well, but people also know my temper. And they also know how much I love you.
Yeah.
Right. And they're afraid that I'm going to lose my shit if somebody disrespects my wife, which, as you know, I do. And I will. You know what I mean? So it does make a complicated dynamic at the end of the day of
I feel like we're still discovering how to navigate that part of it. And then I'm super self-conscious about, I would never, ever want to be perceived as the wife who is riding my husband's coattails.
No, and people don't think that.
But it's such a stereotype, And to me, it's such an ugly stereotype. So I'm super self-conscious about that.
But I mean, I think that some of the things that have made me successful are work hard and never quit. That's a given.
Yeah.
But I've also been smart enough to know what I don't know. I've always been willing to hire somebody, right, to do things that I don't know how to do. Right. I'm not a website guy. Right. I'm not a social media guy. I'm not a technical guy. Right. And I've always been smart enough to know that I don't know those things.
Yeah.
Right. And then the other thing that I think has been to my advantages, and as you know, I'm a question asker. Uh-huh. I ask a lot of questions.
Garrett does too. That's so funny.
I ask a lot of questions. Yeah. I want to learn things. Right. If we're gonna do finance, if we're gonna buy a home, I'm talking to everybody I know, every realtor I know, every mortgage broker I know, every builder I know. I mean, I'm learning everything about what it is to buy a house, right? And then I'm also willing to dive in to it blindly, and I learn along the way.
Yeah.
So I think those are the things that have made me successful is, I don't ask, well, what are all the negatives, right? What are the things that can go wrong?
Right.
I go, what are the things that can go right? And then I will figure out the things that go wrong as I go.
Right.
Which makes things difficult for me and you.
Yes, because I want to do all the research ahead of time. I want to know everything and feel like I'm making every correct decision.
Oh, no, Renae finds everything and it's amazing to me because I truly, truly see the positive in everything. Yeah. I see something and I go, oh yeah, here's all the positives. That's the first thing that comes to my brain. And Renae's brain works, here's all of the negatives.
And see, you see it as negative. I think, and this is the difference between you and I. And part of why I think we are a good team too, is that it's not that I'm looking at the negatives, baby. It's that someone has to be the realist in that sense and say, okay, what are we going to face? How are we going to overcome it? Then what are going to be the issues?
Then had I met you before I did stand-up, I would not have ever done stand-up. Because you would have come to me and said, the odds of a Latino American making it in this business are 0.001.
Yeah.
Right? You're literally 1 in 10, 15 million chance of making it.
Right.
It is a struggle. It is a hard business.
No, for sure. You definitely have to be a dreamer. You definitely have to be a dreamer.
Had I had you,
and I love that about you.
Right. And I had somebody come to me and go, "Oh, you want to do stand up? Well, here's all the negatives." And if I would have believed them, right, instead of having the attitude that I have of, "No, I'm gonna do it, and I'll overcome the negative as I go."
Right. Which actually you say that and I'm thinking in my head, like, that's probably so true. If someone had told me how rare it is that you see a Hispanic female speaking English and playing like great roles on TV, if someone had pointed that out to me and I was aware of it, I probably would have gone to school for something different.
Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Right. The odds of me making it as a stand-up comedian, especially Mexican American, are, I don't know what the odds are, but it's slim to zero.
Yeah.
Slim. And by the way, When I got in the business,
I was going to say, I think things are different now. It's very different now, but
not really. When I got in the business, George Lopez had not had a TV show yet.
Yeah.
Carlos Mencia had not had a TV show yet. The only famous Latino comedians, one was dead, and that was Freddie Prinze, and that was in the 70s.
Yeah.
And Paul Rodriguez.
Yeah.
In the whole United States of America, there was two.
Oh, there was Lucy and Desi, which is
but he
crazy
wasn't a stand-up. He wasn't a stand-up.
That's true.
Cheech Marin, not a stand-up.
Really? He wasn't a stand-up? He was an actor first?
Sketch comedy.
Oh, okay.
But he wasn't a stand-up.
Yeah.
Right? So in order for, even back in, when I got in this business in 1998 as an 18-year-old or 19-year-old.
Yeah.
Or 18, if I would have looked at the situation like that, I would have gone, what am I doing here?
Right.
In the history of HBO, at that point, only 2 people had HBO specials that were Mexican-American, Latino.
Right.
Only 2. Out of every comedian, out of the history of comedy. And here I come thinking, here we go, right?
Yeah.
So, being that dreamer has made me successful and asking questions and learning and watching and figuring out, okay, what do I need to do? One of the first things I figured out was, when I was a kid, there was a show called Evening at the Improv. And I watched it all the time.
I've heard you talk about that show. I never saw it.
Yeah, it was back in the 80s, right?
Yeah.
And I remember watching Evening at the Improv when I was a kid. And then Jeremy Cruz, my cousin, calls me from Dallas, Addison, and goes, dude, there's an improv here. And I dropped everything, and I go, I know that place. All these comedians are associated with
the
improv. I'm on my way. So, even then going, oh, well, I got to, wherever those comedians are, I got to be.
Yeah.
Right. So, and then now us working together has become easier and more complicated. And it's become easier in the aspect that Renae and I have matured. Renae and I respect each other's departments. We have very clear, defined departments. We've had enough fights over whose department is whose department. And then in the complicated side. But
that's communicating. That's communication.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And then on the complicated side, us learning to let go of some jobs, right? So recently, if we're being completely honest, Renae would handle all the day-to-day bookkeeping.
Yeah.
Right? Paying out, paying in. I mean, she didn't handle taxes anymore. We gave that job up several years ago. So we ended up hiring a professional CPA tax person years ago, but Renae was still doing the cleaning of the books and paying out.
Yeah.
And then us getting so busy that Renae was dropping behind in that department.
Yeah.
Because Renae has grown into a producer. You still have to watch the special to help edit the new special.
Yeah.
And you just didn't have time. And it took our management calling us going, hey guys, somebody has to start doing your day-to-day books because Renae's falling behind and nobody wants to yell at her.
Yeah.
Yeah. So also it has become more difficult in learning to step away from, and then.
But that one's proving to be a blessing. Like I'm at a phase in my life right now where I really want to be able to enjoy Delilah. She's already growing so quickly. Like today I had to make her 6-month doctor appointment, and I was like, I got emotional about making a 6-month-old doctor appointment. I'm not ready for her to be 6 months yet. And there's other projects and things that I want to focus on too. So it's the right move for sure.
Yeah, and I definitely think that when you are a husband and wife team, you live in the gray so much.
For sure.
Right? There is no black and white. We always make the joke where I'm like, dude, I would have fucking fired you for that. Like, you're a dick. Like, you would not treat. And then there's
times that I'm like, I would have quit this job years ago.
But dude,
my boss is an asshole.
But the more frustrating part is, I knew you when you had a boss and you had a job, and I would see you around those bosses, and I'm like, oh my God, I want that employee. I want that person dude, that person's awesome. Why don't you work like that for me? So there is all that, frustrating part when it comes to working together. However, to me, the thing that helps us the most, in my opinion, is that there is no, well, I make this much money and you make that much money for us. It is that we are all a team.
Yeah.
And everything that we work for and work on is for the team.
Yeah, for sure. But as you say that and like paycheck, that just made me think that was a big turning point for us too. I don't know if you remember that, but when the company, your business, got to a point where we were actually able to write myself a check every week, that was huge for me. Just to know that, yes, we're husband and wife, and yes, we share everything.
Well, no, but that was all beginning when we started the business, when it turned into a bigger business than a mom and pop shop, right?
Right. But that's what I mean, like,
but
just
I never,
mentally for me and confidence-wise for me to not have to go to you all the time.
Yeah, but as
like,
a
hey,
but as a husband,
I need money
I never wanted to do that to you.
No,
right?
no.
As a husband, I was I was never like, well, I'm paying you $20 an hour, and that's a good salary, and you got to pay your bills, and I got to pay my bills, and
it was never like that.
Never
but
like
just like because you talked about how I really struggled with growing into being a mom and not having my own job where I leave and go work for someone else. But that was a big part of it too, was once there was money coming in and I felt like I was
it's all about money.
Earning.
We're learning it's all about money for Renae. It is. But it is definitely it's such a hard topic, right? Money, but finances and money definitely affect a marriage.
For sure. They say like when you go to the marital class before you get married, like that's one of the things they make you actually sit down and like talk about and dissect and how are you going to handle it.
But I've always been the type of guy, and again, we live in a world where, oh my God, he said that. But I've always been the type of guy that I take care of you. I never let you pay for a meal. I never let you pay for a movie. I never,
when we were dating,
When we were dating,
and
I was
you didn't have any money. You don't have a debit card.
Right, but I'm like, there's no way that I'm going on a date with this girl and she's paying.
Yeah,
so I have always taken the responsibility of, no, I'm taking, and even now that we're married, even though it's our money, I pull out my card. You know what I mean? And go, hey, no, I'm taking my girl out to lunch. I'm going to pay.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, I think one of the successes for us is exactly what we're talking about is all the money goes into a pot that we all work for.
Yeah.
So that there is no animosity. So there is no, well, I go on the road and I make this much money and you do this, so we're all working
but we're both equally hustling to contribute. No, you don't say that.
That face was great, right?
You feel like I'm working hard to contribute.
Course. Yes. No, absolutely. And I'm so proud of, the people that have fallen in love with you the way that I love you and follow you. And, now we're talking about, what's the next steps for the Captain Evil brand,
right.
You becoming your own brand and your own. And I think it's definitely happening. When I look at your post and the comments that you get, there's definitely people who are fans of mine that have become fans of yours, but like to follow you more than they like to follow me. You know what I mean? Like they have become.
I think I just engage with people different.
They become more fans of you now that they've met you through me, you know what I mean?
Right.
But it's a good thing. And I read the comments that you're receiving, and they're much different than the comments
for sure
that I receive.
The conversations I'm having on my social media are different than yours. Yeah.
So, making that transition to, of course, and for me, I've always noticed that in Hollywood specifically, women don't get any love, and then you add on the fact that you're also Mexican American. So you are not only a smaller minority, you're a woman, you're also Mexican American. So that's why you are a producer and director on every special we do.
Yeah.
Right? Because if they're not going to give you the opportunity, I will.
Yeah.
Right? And if I can put a Latina director, producer out there into the world, I'm going to do that.
Yeah.
And if it's going to be my wife, who I know is talented, I'm going to do that. You know, and that's kind of been our mantra and our motto is that if they're not going to put us on TV,
Right.
we will put ourselves on TV.
Well, Judd Apatow puts his wife, Leslie Mann, she's in every one of his movies.
Right. And she's great.
She's
And
great.
She's very talented.
Yeah,
you
for
know,
sure.
and I ain't mad at him for it. Right. And good for them.
Yeah.
We're just doing it on a smaller scale. We're not making blockbusters. We're making a podcast in our room that we fight over. I'll tell that story and then we'll wrap it up.
What's that?
But good. I'm glad you brought that topic up.
Yeah.
I'm really, and I hope people got something out of it that worked together as, and I will say this, that if you're watching and your husband or wife is one of these people that you guys are on the verge of going for it, right? Where you've started a business, you've thought about starting a business.
Oh, I'm so glad you're saying this.
If you're on the verge of doing it, do it.
Yeah.
Do it. Look at the positives. Go after it. Work hard. Never quit. And overcome the obstacles as they come.
Yeah. No, because every
No.
time I think I hate my boss and I want to quit, I go and I make a list of the pros and the cons.
You have no idea what she did to her boss the other night, though.
I should have. And no, I was trying to say something sweet, and you just take it to the dirt.
I always do. I always do.
No, but anytime I make a list of the pros and the cons, I feel like for our family, it's a great decision for our family.
Yes. But I'll tell this story. It's just a little fun Steve Trevino Hollywood story. I was lucky enough to write on the movie The Mule for Clint Eastwood. And we got invited to go to the movie premiere, which was, and I've been to several premieres by myself, and I've also been to several premieres with Renae, and it's really cool, man, to be in LA and Hollywood and to be at a movie premiere with the lights and
Yeah.
it is definitely very surreal and exciting, you know, and because I'm a Texas country boy, you know, I'm always in my cowboy boots, so I always don't look like I belong there. But this particular one,
You know. You wear
and
sleeves to movie premieres.
I do wear sleeves to movie premieres, and I remember Sarah Tiana, who's a great stand-up comedian. She was laughing because I had left a premiere and went to the Comedy Store, and she's like, because she's from Georgia, and she's like, "What is it with you Southern men that think dressing up is tucking in your shirt?" Because I had my shirt tucked in, you know, my snaps, you know, my boots, you know, and she was like, "That's dressing up, just tuck it in." You know? But we had gone to this premiere for The Mule, which I was lucky enough to write on, and I wrote for Clint Eastwood specifically. And my favorite part is if you watch that movie again, Michael Peña's character, his name is Agent Trevino, and I put that in there for a little homage to myself, which by the way, it is frustrating that every movie we are Garcia or Peña. Like those are the names that Latinos get in movies, right? So I thought it was really cool to give Michael Peña's character the Trevino last name.
Yeah.
But so we go to the premiere, and I'm wearing my cowboy boots like I always do. And what's his name? The country singer?
Toby Keith.
Was it Toby Keith?
It was Toby Keith,
Toby
wasn't
Keith.
it? Yeah.
Toby Keith is there, and as you guys know, I am 5'5", and Toby
He was there
Keith
because he had like a song in the movie.
He had a song in the movie,
right?
or he
I
was
can't
friends with
remember.
Clint or something. And I go over to grab a whiskey, and he's right next to me, and he goes, "Cowboy boots," and I'm like, "Yeah." He's like, "Where are you from?" You know, and I go, "I'm from Texas, man." And he was like, "Yeah, figures. I'm from Oklahoma." And then my favorite part is at that point, this woman comes up to him because he's a giant, you know.
Yeah, he's a big guy.
And he looks very country, right?
Yes.
So this
the
woman,
mullet kind of gives you
this
away.
woman comes over and she goes, "So who are you? Are you famous?" And he goes, "Well, there's a water tower with my name on it." And she was like, "Oh, is that good? Like Luke Bryant?" And she was like, "No, not like Luke Bryant." Right? But it was cool. Like I'm just kind of standing there. Well, in walks Judd Apatow, right? And I know Judd Apatow from the Comedy Store, right? So I see Judd and I walk over and I'm like, dude, what's up, man? How you doing? And he's just standing at the front of the door of the restaurant because it was at a big restaurant.
Yeah.
The premiere. I'm like, so what's up, man? I go, what are you doing here? He's like, well, Trevino, what are you doing here? And I go, well, I wrote on the movie. And he's like, oh, man, congratulations. Good for you. Which, by the way, Judd Apatow has always been very sweet and very nice and very approachable, you know. So we're standing there. We're having a little bit of a chat. And I go, so what are you doing here? And he goes, well, my wife had a movie premiere tonight and the food sucked. So I came over here to get food. And as we're talking, the people at that restaurant are bringing boxes of food. And I'm thinking to myself, how famous are you that you leave one premiere because you didn't like the food
and came to another one,
and then came to another one to get food to take home to go, right? And then Toby Keith was like, "Hey man, how do you know him?" Right? And I'm like, "Well, I'm a comedian." He's like, "Introduce." So I'm like, "Hey, come here, man." And I'm like, "Hey, Judd, this is Toby Keith or whatever." And Judd's like, "All right, man, well, nice to meet you," and whatever. And then that sparked the conversation between me and Toby Keith, because he was like, "Oh, you do comedy?" And we started having a conversation. And then before you know it, I realized that I had spent the entire night with the other guy with cowboy boots
talking to me.
And me,
only two guys in the room in cowboy boots.
Well, I've never been able to in Hollywood. I've never had much in common.
You've always felt a little uncomfortable.
I've never felt at home. I've never felt like.
Well, that night too, didn't a publicist come up to you and ask you, "Who are you?"
Oh yeah, dude.
Or something, because you were talking to Clint.
Yeah, I'm talking to Clint, and Clint and I are having a laugh, and then all of a sudden she comes over and she goes, "Security gets in front of me," and he goes, "Walk." And I go, "Excuse me?" Right? And he goes, and then the woman comes over. She's like, "So what are you doing here?" And then Clint gives her the like, "No, he's good." Yeah. And I go, "Bitch, I wrote on the movie." And but I've never, I've never felt comfortable.
Yeah.
At the Comedy Store, I'm the only guy in cowboy boots. Yeah. Right? I'm the only guy that hunts. I'm the only guy that fishes. I'm the only guy with a pocket knife in my
in your jeans and your boots and your pocket.
Yeah. I have one in my boots too, yes. But I'm the only guy with a pocket knife. I'm the only guy that when somebody comes to say hi and I'm sitting down, that I stand up.
Yeah.
I never quite fit.
Yeah.
And that's one of the reasons that I did the comedy the way that I do comedy. That's one of the reasons that I moved back to Texas. But, to be there with Toby Keith, and it wasn't a, "Oh my God, you're Toby Keith" thing. Yeah. It was, "Oh, you're an Okie. You're from Oklahoma, man. I'm from Texas." And there's something about the working, but you find people like Texans everywhere. Chicago is a lot like Texas, right? Central California is a lot like Texas, right? You find people, San Diego is a lot like Texas. And what I mean by that is they're friendly, they're respectable, they're nice, right? They care about opening the door for somebody, When I go to Boston, and you kind of realize that, it's the working class people that I get along with. Yeah. And in LA, there just wasn't many working class people. Yeah. Or either they were working class and they really tried not to be. You know what I mean? They moved to LA and then wanted to be LA.
Oh, I was like, I wasn't following your train of thought.
You know what I mean? And I never wanted to be LA. I never made the transition, because there's guys that are from Oklahoma, from Texas. I didn't see eye to eye with them. Yeah. Right? They were so into the LA Hollywood thing. Yeah. So I noticed that I do really well. And that's why, Canada, man. Canada is a bunch of working class people. Yeah. People who wake up every day and go to work. They're family people. And that's another thing. There's no family people in LA.
I don't think that's what I mean? True. It's just, I don't think that's true. It's just different.
That's what I mean. A different kind of family people.
Well, it's just a different kind of family life because of the cost of living. Like that's what
It's
it comes
definitely
down
di-
to
well,
is the cost of living.
I never understood, and I'm not going to name any names, but there was comics who I knew had kids, and they would hang out at the Comedy Store till 4 a.m. every day. And I'm like, and me, I'd go to the Comedy Store, I'd do my spot, and I'd get home.
Yeah, but that's unfair because you talk about hustling and work hard. That very well may be part of their hustle.
No. But I'm talking about people who have kids and have a huge career.
Yeah.
They already have a huge career. And they're still hanging out at the Comedy Store.
Yeah, but that's relative. All the insecurities of a comic and just like what is success and when have you hit that point and wanting more and
look,
that's a whole nother thing.
If I played that game, I would have never moved back to Texas.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we talked about it all the time where it was like, what are we willing to give up? Right? Mm-hmm. Am I willing to give up time with my wife and kids to go be the biggest comedian in the world? Or, like Aaron Watson says, I have my fans, my faith, and my family. What more do I need?
Yeah.
Right? So as long as I have my faith, my family, and my fans, I don't need anything else.
Yeah.
Right? Because I'll always be able to pay the bills. Right? So with that being said, I am Steve Trevino and the beautiful Captain Evil as always. Underdressed today.
Just getting that in one more time.
Do me a favor and tag your friends in these posts, please. We really want the podcast to grow.
Yeah, if you think someone else would enjoy it, if there's another couple you think should watch it at night, tag them in it for us.
We love you guys. Steve Trevino, Captain Evil. Thank you so much. I hope you guys enjoyed this mess of an episode.